Today, we're gonna draw a super simple version of Goofy. What do you think about that, Mr. Ice Cream?
Oh, I'm excited for this one. Goofy makes me laugh harder than all the other characters put together. I've always wanted to know how to draw him.
All right, well, I'm glad you're excited.
Before we get started, the only materials you need for this project are paper, a pencil, a black marker, and something to color with.
So let's get started.
I am ready to go.
So we're gonna start by drawing our overall shape, because if you think about it, everything in the world is really just shapes. So if you wanna learn to draw, learning how to see shapes and draw shapes and think in shapes is the most important thing.
I spend most of my time thinking in sprinkles. So if I think about sprinkles as shapes, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's right, Mr. Ice Cream.
And the reason why we draw this shape first is so that our character doesn't spill off the page, like it did with your Pluto drawing, right?
Don't remind me, Mr. Ice Cream. All right, so let's go.
That one actually turned out great.
So we're gonna start with a diagonal line from this side of the page up to the top here. And then another diagonal line that comes kind of down like that. And then a little line down. And then come in. Another diagonal line down. And I'm doing this kind of dark so that you can see it, but we might end up erasing this later, so you can do yours kind of lightly. If you keep doing it with a pencil, is the best way to go. So we're gonna do another kind of shape like this over here. Another diagonal line down, and then kind of a triangle shape like that. Another little triangle shape over here. And then just kind of a curving line down like this, almost to the bottom. Then another kind of triangle like this. And then kind of a little square rectangle like that. Back up this way. One more line like that. And then this line goes almost to the bottom. And then kind of a little square like that. So hopefully you can see this.
I can see it. That's the shape of Goofy.
All of our details should fit within inside this shape, so that hopefully as we draw the details, our character doesn't spill off the page like it did in our Pluto episode. So
We like to have fun.
now that we have this shape here, we can start right from the top here, this little point, and we're just gonna do two little curves like that, kind of like a heart shape that doesn't connect, and then two straight lines coming down from that, and then a curving line that connects that. And then right from the bottom of these lines, I'm gonna do another curving line that goes around and then stops and leaves some space in the middle there. And then two little lines coming down from that. And maybe they're a little bit more on a diagonal. I don't know. I know a lot of stuff, but whenever I'm drawing, I'm just free flowing. So now that we have this, that's Goofy's hat. So now we're gonna just do two little bumps that connect in the middle, kind of like an M shape here, not too big. And then we do another little bump on both sides. And then one more kind of bump, and these lines are gonna kind of overlap a little bit. And then one more little bump on the other side. And this is where these little bumps is where his ears are gonna come out in a minute. So now, just below this, you can do a little line that kind of curves down on the ends like that. And slightly overlapping here. Gonna go around like this and then just a little straight line to connect those little circles where his ears are gonna be. And now coming out of here, we can draw his eyes right on top of this line. So his eyes are just gonna go, and his eyes are connected, so it's not two different things. So we're just gonna draw another M right inside of this M shape. Goes up like that and comes down the middle, just like that. And then we're gonna do two kind of oval shapes for his pupils.
I'm starting to see where this is going.
Add smaller oval inside that for the highlight. And then color in the bottom like that. Then just below this line, we'll do one more line that kind of curves down both ends. And now we can do sides of his mouth, should be about the same on both sides. And then on top of that, we're gonna do a little curving line like this. It's kind of like a curvy T. And then we can put below this line a nice big oval shape like that. And we can put another little oval for the highlight on there. And then we can kind of just color in everything except the little highlight. And now this part's a little tough, so I kind of like to put a dot just below the nose so that I know it's in the middle. And then starting from the bottom of the little T shape, we're gonna connect this and then meet right there. And then starting from the T shape here, we're gonna go up and connect to the bottom of this. And loop around like that.
Wow, those two lines are like the key to the whole thing. This looks exactly like Goofy already.
And now right from the middle part of these two bumps, I'm gonna do two little rectangle shapes for his teeth. And then right in the middle of his teeth here, I'll do a U shape that connects that. Another U shape that doesn't go all the way. And then on this side, it's gonna come down a little lower than the other one and slightly overlap like that. And now just below his teeth here, we're just gonna do two little curving lines like this for his tongue. And we're gonna come back and do his ears in a minute. But just below his bottom lip here, I'm just gonna do two lines, kind of a diagonal like that. There's neck, connect that, a little curve like this. And then one more curving line that kind of wraps around here. Another one like that. And then one more like this. So we create a little turtleneck situation there. And then this is the fun part. I was debating whether or not we should add his vest in there, but that's kind of goofy style. So let's do it, right, Mr. Ice Cream?
Oh yeah, we definitely gotta add Goofy's vest. That's a secret to his whole whimsical style.
Now, I do a little curve like this that kind of flares out over here. And then just curve back up and stop there. And then on this side of the turtleneck, I'm gonna do a loop like that. And then one more line that goes out and kind of flares up. And then curves back like that. And now, not touching the turtleneck here, but just below it. Can do a line for the front of his shirt, straight down. And on this side, I'm gonna do a line like this, and stop right there. I'm gonna connect that. And then if this line just continued right below his vest, I'm gonna do like that. Now we can put in Goofy's ears here, because they're gonna be in front of his arms. So we're just gonna do shape like this. Both of his ears kind of come down to about where his chin is, and then curve back up and get smaller at the top. And then you don't want to make them exactly the same, so this one maybe we'll have it go out a little more and be a little higher, like that. Oh, almost forgot. We just gotta put right in the middle of his head here, I'm gonna put 3 hairs. They go all the way past his hat. And now we can put his arms in here. So starting right from the edge of the turtleneck here, gonna go straight line to the ear, and then imagine that keeps going right behind his ear. And then where this straight line is, I'm gonna do one more line like that. And then I'm gonna connect it with a curving line like this. It kind of curves around on both ends. And then slightly overlapping a little bit. Do that again. And that's gonna be his shirt cuff. And then we're gonna do another curve like that, which is a cuff on his glove. And now we can draw his hand. It's really just 3 fingers like that. And slightly overlapping like this. For a thumb. And a little line down the middle. Nothing complicated. And this can kind of curve around and connect on both sides. Maybe we see like a little bit of his arm there. Kind of like that. And maybe I made this hand a little too big, I don't know. Doesn't matter. We're having fun. That's the most important thing.
I'm definitely having fun.
So now I'll do his other arm here. So his other arm's gonna come out of the turtleneck here. We'll give like a little curve to it, and it goes behind this one. And let's see if we can just do this simple, kind of like shirt cuff, just kind of like 2 bumps like that, with a little dimple on the side. And then we can bring this line back. And then it's going to go behind the vest and continue right there. One thing I kind of want to change is
You don't start drawing until you start erasing.
I think we're going to want this line for his arm to kind of overlap that one. And then we can draw the other part of his vest here, which is going to curve around like that. So now we'll do another 2 little lines for his wrist there. Curve for the cuff on his glove. And then another curve on his thumb here. Three fingers. And curve that right back up in the middle. A little line down the middle here. You could add more details if you want to, but I think that's not so bad so far.
Not so bad. I think this is fantastic.
Then we're going to continue this line down a little bit and do a curving line that just slightly overlaps this side and curves back up and connects to that side. A line that loops around twice. And then follow that same curve to connect that. And then if we imagine this line just continued here, gonna curve that down to the bottom of the page. And over here, we're gonna draw this kind of big circular shape like that for his knee. And then a little half circle on the bottom here. Bring that straight back up. Add a little bit of stuff to his pants there. And come back here, slightly overlap this. And then bring that right back down like that. And then we're going to want to connect these at the bottom and do a little skinny ankle here, a little skinny ankle here. Now he's got to draw his shoes. So we're going to do a little line like that. Circle around it, a kind of donut shape. Just gonna curve around like that. And then we're gonna do 2 little overlaps here that connect back. I'm gonna put a little bit of a heel on that. And if you want to get detailed, you can put a little sole of his shoe here. And on this side, we're going to see the bottom of his shoe, so we're going to do a curve this way. Like that. Up like this. And then a straight line here. Bumps up just a little bit. And that'll be the heel of his shoe here. And then we're gonna do the same thing we did on this side. So 1, 2, and then connect the back. And then here we can kind of just connect this behind there. And then he's got a little line for the cuffs on his pants here. And that's it.
All right, this looks
So
great.
now let's go back and darken this in with some Sharpies and keep the party going. All right, so there's our finished black and white outline of Goofy, one of Mickey Mouse's best friends. So now we just gotta erase our initial pencil lines, and then it's time to color this in. But before we do, I just want you to take a look at where that initial shape, if you've made it this far in the video and you're still kind of wondering, why did we draw that shape in the beginning? If you notice where the lines are, all of the details fit very close. It's not exact, but it's very close to where that initial shape was, so that we know that our character is gonna fit on the page and not be spilling out over. So starting with an initial shape is what I've been doing my entire life. And the earlier you start, the better you get at seeing it. So now let's erase these lines and color this in. All right, so there's our finished drawing of Goofy. What do you think, Mr. Ice Cream?
I had so much fun, and my drawing looks spectacular.
All right, well, I'm glad you had fun, and I hope the rest of you had fun, and we'll see you at the next art party.
Don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to save your seat at the next art party.